Hi, Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus AEW Dark. This is from, of course, October 26th, 2021, and it was a good one. I thought Elevation the night before was vastly improved and perhaps could take the crown back from AEW Dark. But now I'm not so sure. A nice tight show, a couple of matches with people of great note, including Brian Danielson in the main event. Let's get to it. We got Excalibur and Taz as our commentators. That is the consistent Dark team. Dark Elevation seemingly changes every week. They're still looking for how to do that one. We got Bobby Fish against Invictus Cash. Invictus Cash has only had a couple of matches in AEW, but has done incredibly well in them, so it's no shock that they give him to Bobby Fish. This really is an exhibition for Bobby Fish to show off what he can do, particularly the strikes. He hits that roundhouse buzzsaw-style kick to pick up the victory. How did it go? Well, we do these on a 3-check system. For the enhancement matches, which this one certainly was, we do 1 check for the proper person being put over, which definitely happened, being put over in definitive fashion, and then a 3rd check if the person does great in defeat or gets a disproportionately large amount of offense. They did a great job. Invictus did a great job, so we'll give them that 3rd check mark. And then Bobby Fish talks afterwards because he's going to take on CM Punk on Dynamite. We get a little clip of everything that Sammy Guevara has gone through with the Men of the Year. He's set to defend his TNT title against Ethan Page. Next match, we get Riho against Xtina K. Xtina K has been making the rounds lately in AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, and this is no exception. Gets a little more offense than the guy in the first match did, but nonetheless, Riho connects with that running Meteora to pick up the victory. 3 check marks, we're moving on. Good solid matches. Eddie Kingston against Jack Evans. We're going to call this one competitive, which is probably being charitable, but I do appreciate that Eddie Kingston is taking on someone of greater note than just a random person who we don't really get to know. Kingston wins with the stretch plum, which I find really interesting to get the tap out. They're definitely going for this Kingston is vicious vibe, and Kingston can go with more technical wrestlers to set him up for his match against Bryan Danielson on Rampage. I thought that was really interesting. It is a good competitive match. Jack Evans, they have a whole separate division in AEW, and that's for guys that are really good, that are probably going to lose, but are there to really make guys look good. And so Jack Evans qualifies. I think Evan Bourne / Matt Sydal qualifies. And I think right now, the guy from Top Flight qualifies. They do have this sort of good core of guys who are lower mid-card, I guess you can call them charitably, who are there to really make the stars look great. And this is no exception. 3 check marks. Jade Cargill does a promo with Mark Sterling. She's going to get a 1st round bye in the women's tournament. That's the long and short of it. Dante Martin, speaking of guys that are there to generally put over the top guys, but he's here to pick up a win against the 0-4, I believe, JDX. How's this match? It is good. It is pretty competitive, but Dante Martin wins with the double springboard Brada, which is ridiculous. Now we just need some consistency with what is his finisher, because he wins with a different thing every time, which some people would say that's a good thing. It's not if he's ever going to elevate. But Leo Rush being there, making him look important, I'm all bad. 3 check marks. So Adam Cole cuts a promo. If you think what we did at Jungle Boy was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. And they're going to take on the Dark Order tomorrow night. Then we get our 5th match, Tiger Ruas, who is 1-0, against DJ Brown, who we have never seen before. The long and short of it is this match is not very long. Ruas hits a cool-looking spinning capoeira kick, picks up the victory. So we can expect more things from Tiger Ruas on Dark, I would assume. I hope they do that. Sometimes they give a guy a couple of wins and then they rush him to lose on Dynamite to somebody else. I hope that is not the case here. Sixth match, Diamante against Skylar Moore. Skylar Moore, great to see her back again. She's been here a number of times. This is going to be match number 14 for Skylar Moore, but hasn't won any of them. And Diamante, who is in the midst of being in different angles, especially on Dark and Dark Elevation. Diamante wins here, tapping her out to the body scissors nerve hold. They have a good back and forth here, 3 check marks. And we go on to our 7th match, where we're showing the power of the Dark Order and Preston Vance, number 10 in particular. We got Preston Vance and Brody Lee Jr., just who's at ringside with the Dark Order, against Shane Stetson, who's only had 1 match, but does a good job here getting thrown around. This is a squishy squash. There's no doubt about that. Preston Vance winning with the full Nelson lock to set him up for Jan Moxley. And then we get Too Fast, Too Fuego in their debut, which is, of course, Fuego de Sol and Fuego 2. It's Dean Alexander, who does really, really great work on AEW Dark, and Kid Bandit, who's new. Kid Bandit doesn't get in there a ton, but does his good job. And, of course, we can always count on Alexander to do a great job in these things. Too Fast, Too Fuego definitely win this match. That's not a shock. How did they win? Tornado DDT, of course. And then finally, Bryan Danielson against Aaron Solo. We'll call this competitive charitably. Aaron Solo definitely does a good job keeping up with Bryan Danielson here. At the end of the day, the LaBelle lock gets locked in. And 3 check marks, because do both sides look competitive? Yes. Do both sides look good? Is somebody put over definitively? And is something perhaps sparked for later? Yes, we're definitely establishing this thing of Danielson being sort of brutal and mean, even as a face, and I think it's a good look.